The true story of the Coward Brothers.
On this episode of Audiobook Club, a high-concept audiobook written by and starring Elvis Costello. With an all-star cast, including Harry Shearer.
Good evening. I'm Sterling Lockhart, your host for this special edition of Your Name Here, the radio program that shares an interest in humans and occasionally some other species.
And a musical pedigree that can be traced back to a stone-cold 70s classic.
I'm a secret lemonade drinker. Always. I'm trying to give it up, but it's one of those nights. Always lemonade. I'm a secret lemonade drinker. Always lemonade. Always lemonade.
If ever trends were going to come back round. Hello and welcome to Audiobook Club, the podcast about audiobooks that's getting on a bit and may have forgotten to take its daytime medication this morning, so bear with. Joining me is and we've been discussing this backstage, my podcast wife.
No. I'm your podcast bastard half-brother in the theme of the book.
Must have been a dream I had. Actually, was it? Yeah. Anyway, well, we won't go there.
We'll come to that later, yes.
As a Patreon extra when we get around to sorting that out.
You can have our podcast bastard family tree.
Yeah, there you go. It is Christmas after all. Maybe some sort of podcast family bastard advent calendar.
With a bloody partridge in it. Carry
on.
Yes,
not literally a bloody partridge. It takes the festivity away from the whole, Christmas atmos, doesn't it, really? Oh,
Good.
Open door number one, it's a bloody partridge. Unbelievable. Anyway.
How are you, Steve?
Yes, can't complain. And actually, you know what? I mean, this is the closest to live I think we're going to get really on this show, isn't it?
It's the closest to live radio that you and I have been allowed in about 20 years, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've never had a situation where we've been texting each other during the day saying, it hasn't been released yet. What are we going to do?
Do you want to explain why?
So we're doing this week, my dear listener, the true story of the Coward Brothers from Elvis Costello with T-Bone Burnett, Elvis Costello, the aforementioned Rhea Seehorn, Edward Hibbert, Stephen Root and Kathreen Khavari. Now, this has been released as an Audible Original. It's an hour and 43 minutes long, so really that wasn't too much of a stretch. And it was out today, and as we record, 21st of November 2024. So it wasn't entirely on the stroke of midnight because I was up at 5 this morning walking my dog, refreshing the old Audible app. Wasn't there, still saying been released, you can't listen to it yet, and you had even worse trouble, didn't you?
I did. I was about 12 hours later than that. I have never been so ill-prepared for a broadcast.
I think it's coming across already from the pair of us, to be honest.
I am just bewildered. I think this is what you would describe as a high-concept audiobook. And unfortunately, you and I are what I would describe as reassuringly low-brow.
Yeah.
And there's a gap between those two things, and I feel tired. I feel both tired and emotional.
Oh.
And not for the reasons that I normally feel those two emotions together, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I was going to say to you, Matt, that is lifted straight from the Radio Times listing for most episodes of Neighbours in the 1980s and 1990s. Todd is feeling tired and emotional. Scott and Charlene are feeling tired and emotional. Harold and Madge tired. You get the picture. But we are in real life tired and emotional.
We are in real life tired and emotional, and not because we've been at the sherbet. So the other thing is, this audio, fortunately for us, when we eventually got hold of it, was only an hour and 42 minutes long. But I have to say, for me, it took more stamina than some 17-hour audiobooks that I've read. Is that fair?
Well, I don't know. I was very much eyes open as to what I was expecting. So it's directed by Christopher Guest, as well as also being written by Elvis Costello. It's got Harry Shearer in it, and it's in the preamble and the hyping the Coward Brothers up. It's been done in the vein of, and I don't. So I'm going to ask you this question: have you seen Spinal Tap?
I haven't seen Spinal Tap.
Okay, right.
Or With Nail and I.
Have you seen Best... So if you haven't seen Spinal Tap, you might not have seen Best in Show.
Now, I'm aware that was a folk music one in the. So I had this problem when I was a kid at school. In that, when I was 13 or 14 years old, everybody else in my class was reciting Monty Python's The Life of Brian line for line. And by the time I got to see the film after that, I knew all the quotes, was expecting them, and didn't find any of them funny. And I sort of have Spinal Tap and With Nail and I are two films that I'm almost frightened to watch and have avoided because I'm worried that that's what my experience would be. But I'm aware of the cut of the jib, and I don't think I'm wrong to put those three films together, am I?
No, and I'm with you as well, because whenever a whole bunch of people, like your mates or what have you, go on about a certain film over and over and over, you kind of get put off watching it, and you do end up watching it, but many months, nay, even decades later.
Decades in my case.
And
never
in your
been
case,
an early adopter.
You still have that pleasure to come. But so if you had seen Spinal Tap, if you've seen Best in Show, there is a narrative style. For Your Consideration was another one. But all these films from Christopher Guest and Rob Reiner, and always starring the usual kind of suspects, always kind of the same kind of ensemble cast, like Harry Shearer, Eugene Levy, all these kind of people. And it's all about the mockumentary. So it's Spinal Tap, guessing the most famous of them all, and brilliant. They are all so funny. So I was coming out from a slightly different place. I knew what was coming, but it's never been done in audio before, because the best thing about films like Best in Show and Spinal Tap, it's the visuals as well. There are so many visual gags. It's laced, to the brim. No, packed to the brim, not laced to the brim. With verbal jokes as well, and that's what obviously this has only got in the locker. Really, it can't play on visuals. So I was coming at more from this. Does it stand up to that narrative style? Was my point of view. Yeah,
and as somebody who couldn't picture the way those films are made in my head and didn't think to, and now you've mentioned it, I realise yeah, maybe I'm missing the vocabulary of knowing how those films work. To me, it was. Look, it was not an easy listen, but we're here to recommend audiobooks because we know that if somebody invests £1, which is the equivalent of £8 on Audible, in getting a book that we've recommended, we'd better be certain that it's a good one. So we don't do scathing reviews here at Audiobook Club.
No, far too nice.
And by the way, did you enjoy hearing the R. White's Lemonade song at the beginning there?
I noticed that actually, even though we were scrambling to review this particular piece, you had the R. Whites lined up for, I'm guessing, about 5 days beforehand.
Well, I mentioned it to you. I actually got my facts wrong.
You did.
I said to you, that Elvis Costello's dad was in the R. White's Lemonade ad. And actually, I wasn't quite right. The ad was released in 1973. Elvis Costello's father, Ross McManus, wrote and sang the advert song, which, again, the ad was made in 1973, and I know it, so that must mean it was still going in 1986. 13 odd years later. Television adverts don't last that long these days.
Nah, ain't that the truth, brother?
So Ross McManus wrote and sang the advert song with his son Declan McManus, later known as Elvis Costello, providing the backing vocals. So I never knew that. So actually, the first time that we would have come across the voice of Elvis Costello is him going, "Oh, White's" in the background.
No way.
However, the person in the glasses and the pajamas coming down the stairs to go to the fridge is actually actor Julian, Chagrin, I guess it's pronounced, but yeah, shame.
Yes, the world-renowned Julian Chagrin from your description there.
So as much as he was wearing glasses and had dark hair, that's not the bloke who's Elvis Costello's dad, it's the bloke singing the song.
Yeah.
I hope I have got rid of all of our American audience now. I think
Well, let's try and reel our US audience back in by going through our 3-step process, which consists of talking about the author, talking about the text, or the drama in this case, and the audiobook. Does it bring any value or anything extra to the party? Now, this is different, of course, because this is a mockumentary / drama / comedy out and out. So not necessarily a book. So let's start off with something that straddles both medium, the author. Matt, Elvis me up.
Yeah, so I think we're going to get a little bit lost trying to keep the text and the audiobook separate, as you say. It is, you wouldn't buy this as a book and read it as a script unless it's incredibly successful and turns out to be genre defining, which it may very well be. It may be slightly above my intelligence level. But the author is easy. He's Declan Patrick McManus, was born the 25th of August 1954. What does that make him? 70. He's better known by his stage name Elvis Costello. He's an English musician, singer-songwriter, and record producer. Again, I think the interesting thing of him singing in that advert where his dad sounds like Elvis and he's doing the backing vocals, and that he chose Elvis Costello as the Elvis part of it as his stage name. I think it's relevant to this, and I think you can find the roots of some of the influences in that bit. He began his career in the 1970s, London's pub rock scene. He got associated with punk and new wave. We know songs of his like Watching the Detectives and go on, Steve, come on, name one quickly.
Oliver's Army.
Oliver's Army, what a song that is. Alison.
Yeah, that's another one.
What's the one that I like? Oh, I like Pump It Up. That's the one that I put on to get myself on. It's interesting. Funnily enough, again, the American thing, he seems to be more popular in the States than he is over here these days and in recent decades. I certainly remember watching The Detectives when I was 7 years old. I was reading a book about detectives and singing that song. So it was obviously on mainstream radio because my parents weren't that hip. Nowadays, you'd be hard-pressed to find somewhere that would play Elvis Costello, I think. It's somewhat associated with the radio station that you and I worked at that was called BBC London in your day when you worked there, and long before that when I worked there it was called GLR. So it was a kind of a, I could see Phil Jupitus and Mark Lamar playing obscure Elvis Costello album tracks.
Yeah.
But the next time we see him, he's in American sitcoms and American talk shows, and it's like, I haven't seen him for blooming years.
Yeah, it's true. It's quite a number of people who are like that, isn't it? But Elvis Costello, for me, is just he just feels like he has literally been around all my life. I just thought he was much older than he was, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
totally,
he was
absolutely.
younger.
I mean, I don't know. It's because of the perception of his assumed first name. He's just always been around.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly you talk about the kind of radio stations he'd be played on. I guess now it's more sort of Absolute Radio and Virgin and all that kind of stuff, really.
I think they've left him behind, to be honest. I think Radio 2 is probably the only place you would find it, or as a one-off on Six Music. And if that hasn't lost our American audience, we should keep on trying. Keep digging, Steve.
Oh, hang on. He did She, didn't he? Did he She? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Careful,
very good.
PRS, can't pay that. We can't pay that.
It's all right. It wasn't vaguely accurate at all.
Sound like a screeching car doing a J-turn.
So we've got an hour 52, but we've got about half an hour to fill, Steve.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned the word Elvis. Can I tell my Elvis story?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know my Elvis story?
You stretch it out, please. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. My mum met Elvis.
No.
When she was 16 years old, and she was on holiday in Hawaii. Age my mum. Hashtag age my mum. And she was by the swimming pool in the hotel, and this young man came up to her, and hovering in the background was an elderly gentleman, according to my mum, and the young man turned out to be Elvis and invited her to come on his plane. And my mother didn't fancy it. So she turned down a chance to date Elvis Presley.
Well, potentially marry Elvis Presley. Well, I guess when she was a bit older.
Yeah, she was a bit old for him those days.
I just remember that you told me how old your mum was at the time, yes.
Yeah, well, it's strange, actually. It's one of the tropes that's going to come up because in, this book / audiobook / piece of art relies heavily on some of the tropes about 50s and 60s rock stars, and some of them die in planes, and some of them have inappropriate relationships with girls who are too young to have relationships. And my mother, it turns out, was born exactly the same year as Priscilla Presley, and we know where that went. So I think my mum had a lucky escape. And get this, my dad was more attractive than Elvis. That's a fact, people.
That's pretty good, yeah.
It is good.
You can bank that. That's banked, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It also meant that your mum could have been in Naked Gun, of course.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'd love to know.
That would have been quite good.
I'd love to know Leslie Nielsen. I've known Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, he would have been brilliant, wouldn't he? Yeah. So did he ever make an audiobook?
Good. Okay, now we're losing anybody under the age of 50.
Yeah. That was always
it's amazing,
the case.
Isn't it?
Always the case. So then, to the book / the piece of art itself, as you say.
Can I ask you a favour, Steve? Because normally it's my job to sum up the book, and I normally write a little paragraph of my own. But this time, having finished the hour and whatever it is of the book, I couldn't work out what just happened to me. So I have cut and pasted the description from Amazon into our script, and the first 3 lines of that script are written in all caps. Okay. And I was wondering if you could read them for me, and then possibly see how far you get after that.
Okay, well let's give it a stab. It's available. It's part of your Audible subscription, by the way. So there's a massive plug for Audible here. Here goes. Improbable at first, preposterous to the last. These rock and roll charlatans.
No, hold on. No. Oh. It's written in capitals, Steve. Try again.
I can't. I've got neighbours.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I've got to be.
All right, as you were.
Very, very thin rules. It's a new build.
You're not entering into the spirit of this at all. But carry on.
I know. Yes, I'm going full rock and roll by explaining suburbia. Yeah. Improbable at first, preposterous to the last. These rock and roll charlatans confound, confuse, but ultimately croon and charm in the greatest story never told. The true story of the Coward brothers follows 2 musical brothers, one English, one American, both the illegitimate sons of dubious parentage who may, as they claim to be, 1.5 brothers, perhaps a reference to the disparity in their height and relative talents. In this satirical audio series directed by Christopher Guest, it is Spinal Tap, Best in Show, Henry and Howard Coward, love that, that's my words by the way, are lightly grilled by radio host Sterling Lockhart, Harry Shearer, The Simpsons, Saturday Night Live, as they bitterly retrace the story of being duped out of their royalties and rightful place in pop history by their cutthroat manager who, among other things, persuaded them to fake their own deaths.
Yeah, and you know what? If that makes sense to anybody listening, then you're a better person than I am.
But this is a thing, right? Because if you've seen Best in Show and seen Spinal Tap, you'd be having a completely different conversation. I think it feels like to really enjoy this, there's 2 paths to doing it. First of all, I think listen to it over and over and over again, and by the 5th or 6th time you listen to it, you will love it. Or if you know what you're expecting, you would have seen Spinal Tap and Best in Show beforehand, sort of to prepare yourself. So that might be the way forward. Okay, all right. So my question for you is, in the film Spinal Tap, were the actors any good? Yeah, they were brilliant. Yeah, they were excellent. All right, here's clip 2.
That was a #1 record. #1, I tell you. You tell him, Henry.
Well, I guess if you subtract the number it reached on the Cashbox Country and Western chart,
19,
from the number it reached on the Rhythm and Blues chart,
20, it's simple arithmetic, Henry. Simplistico.
And your point is What?
If you take 19 from 20, what do you get?
1, Howard. You get 1.
Like I said, it's as good as a number one record.
So what I've been robbed of is I haven't got the vocabulary of how the films work, and they've taken away the whole talent in the actor bit. I mean, to describe what that was as chemistry, it's, as I said earlier on, it's not copper sulfate crystals, is it? It's more like the sulphury, eggy, pooey smell, to be honest. It's awful. Agree or disagree, Steve?
Are we reviewing like
Yes.
5-year-olds this week? Eggy, this book is an eggy pooey smell.
This book, it is a bit eggy and pooey.
Now, I did a bit of digging on this, and you may have done some digging as well on the Coward brothers themselves.
I just listened to the end credits before we came on air, and the Howard brothers, played by T-Bone Burnett and Elvis Costello, are credited with the songwriting. So it made me think of the Travelling Wilburys instantly.
Oh, interesting.
I.e., a made-up band with made-up members that is, like the Gorillaz. They're almost, they're a fictional band, but they're credited with the songs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
But what was your superior research to mine then?
Well, it turns out that the Coward brothers, because it felt to me like we kept talking in the blur about the legendary Coward brothers, and this is it felt a bit like a return. So I did a bit of digging, and so it turns out these guys go back to 1986.
Oh, right, okay.
Because when it was Elvis Costello's 10th album that he released, and it was off the back of a series of tours that he wrote these songs, or was co-produced this album, King of America it was called. He produced it with T-Bone Burnett. So they've been working together for quite a while. And they did a couple of tours after the album was released under the name The Coward Brothers. So this is where it comes from. So actually, you saying there's no chemistry, they might be quite worried right now, because they should, since 1986, if they haven't developed it by now.
I'm sure they have musical chemistry. I'm sure it's, example of musician and producer in perfect harmony. But in terms of them actually delivering the dialogue, I don't. Again, it was another thing that made it confusing. In fact, I've got clip 3, Steve.
Yeah.
Clip 3, yeah. Here is, right, the musical equivalent taken from this. Hopefully this will make you feel as I felt the whole way through the book.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I mean...
So like that... no, stop! Like that for an hour and 42 minutes. That's how it felt to me.
Oh, ow. Oh, that's got to hurt.
Do you know what we had? We had the thing last week, didn't we? The quote of Janie Godley saying that compared to the New Yorkers, her accent was like a load of dustbin lids being thrown down an escalator, and that cacophony.
That was a good one, yeah.
That's the so do you get it? That's how I felt not having the vocabulary that you had walking into this, I think.
Yeah, we're getting sort of into the realms of musical choice and what have you, aren't we? So if you like Elvis Costello, you'll probably really like the songs on here. I'm not really. Do you know what I was looking for? I was looking for the comedy one-liners, and I was trying to find a hook in this. So I was pretty sort of, I guess, ambivalent for the first sort of 10, 15 minutes. And then this line came out. And it was around, they were listing album tracks and talking about who owned the rights to what. And it was one about, they talk about the song Running Bear, about skinny dippers. And I thought, right, I get where you're coming from now. I know exactly what this is. I know the vibe. I understand the vibe for this piece of work. And it feels in the vibe. And I do love me a rockumentary. I do love, if you haven't seen him yet, Brian Pern. This is a sort of an aging kind of ex mega rock star from the 70s and 80s, who becomes enormously rich and everything. But he's so funny. Played by Simon Day from The Fast Show, brilliant. And by the way, his manager, played by Michael Kitchen, is the funniest character of the whole thing. Then you've got obviously Spinal Tap. You've got Bad News, the comic strip with Rick Mayall, Adrian Ebenson, and Nigel Planer and Pete Richardson. So it comes straight from that, really, where they come up with these hilarious music titles. The Ruttles, Neil Innes. I could go on. I think I'm going on here.
I was going to mention the Ruttles earlier, and again, another one that I'm aware that it exists, but I'm not really familiar with it. There's an interesting bit in there. It is funny. Harry Shearer, as well as holding this show together, is now holding. I just get happy. I get like 3 minutes break when Harry Shearer does his usual terrible radio host bit. I can't get enough of those. And in one of them, there's a funny bit. We've started off with the All White's Lemonade ad. There's one bit where I think it's Elvis Costello says, and a Korean company overtook the root beer firm and used that clip of my song as an advert, and I've never made so much money. And you go, look, there's All White's Lemonade again.
Yeah, the circle of life.
So there are lots of in jokes. There are lots of little things to look out for. I'm not sure I got all of them. And again, I'm going to say American audience. I'm going to say anybody under the age of 50. In the Venn diagram of people you want to engage when doing a digital audio product, as we know, Steve, they're people you don't want to necessarily alienate by making cultural references that make no sense, like you and I do. And then, of course, the song at the end of chapter 2 is called
Kathy, come home. If a child puts her by the bed, so he may cry. Kathy, come home. Kathy, come home.
So, Kathy Come Home, which is, I think, if memory serves, Steve, is a reference to a 1960s ITV documentary about a homeless woman.
Yeah, Kathy Come Home was a seminal thing way back before.
But it's certainly not the subject of a romantic ballad like that one is. But again, I think that's the very clever joke that's being made, isn't it?
Yeah. Just as an explainer, can I do a Rory Stewart style explainer like he does on his politics show?
Go on. Well, you don't have to. Before you do, I'm just saying this is the level of obscurity that some of the gags have, and that's one that I was able to spot. And yeah, I'm looking for the tiny bit of the Venn diagram where the one person who's going to get. I doubt T-Bone Burnett got that gag.
Yeah. So, do you think though that by having T-Bone Burnett for the American audience, and you've got Elvis Costello for the British audience, because I know what Kathy Come Home is. And I was obviously never around when it was broadcast. It was a explainer.
Yeah, it's before. Yeah, that and 7 Up are the two seminal 1960s documentaries that have lasted long enough to still be here after 60 years of television clip shows. So we've seen enough of those that we know what they are, haven't we?
Yeah, sounds like that's not going to be the first thing you watch after this show.
No, I'm just going to watch mindless YouTube drivel.
Going to watch old Minder episodes. Yeah.
No, I'm going to watch something modern, American, and relevant.
Yeah. Quite right too. Yes.
For young people.
Happy days. Yeah.
Oh, that's you getting line of the night again. That's really clever because, of course, it was written in the 70s and set in the 50s and uses 50s rock and roll. Yeah. You just, I do hours of preparation for this show, and it's starting to get a bit tiring that you come in here, and there you go. You've done a Kathy Come Home level reference there. I give up.
No, don't.
I'm leaving.
Don't you feel synergy here that maybe you and I are from the 80s, but we find ourselves in 2024? And that's all we've got time for at Audiobook Club this week.
Tired and emotional. Timing. Sorry. That's it.
Oh yeah, good time. Yeah. Oh, you suckered me in there.
I'm going to try and get that in every episode.
Yes, do that. Hide the emotional.
All right, listen, but all right. Here's the thing. As confirmed, I am going to say that, you know what? By the end of it, but particularly it ends on 2 songs, and I think I ended up going, I quite like this, but I need to lie down. And I think as long as you warn people alongside the recommendation that this is just all sorts of odd and you may not be ready for it, it's that thing. I tell you what it is. It's that thing. I don't like olives. They say if you eat 11 olives in a row, the 12th one, you will like it.
There you go.
But again, I've never done that because I don't feel the need to like it that much. But by the end of this, the 12th olive, if you will, and if you know what the French thing means there, then you're on my level. I kind of liked the last song. Here it is.
After all's been said,
And all has been done.
or stolen,
Yeah, after everyone has said their say about us, we know that we may be snips and sons.
we may be bastards,
We may even be clowns.
or crooks or con men.
But at heart, what do you say, Howard?
We'll always be
Cowards.
Always lemonade. I'm a secret lemonade drinker.
All right.
Oh, well, I think you should be getting some money from our whites. Oh, are they still going? I don't think they are they?
Have I made my point?
Yes, you have made your point.
I think there is a way where it all kind of Happy Days references, White's
Yeah.
Lemonade, Elvis being called Elvis. Weirdly, yeah, if you let it run in the background, it's a bit full on if you listen to it hard, but I think you're right. I think it'll take 5 or 6 listens if you want to, if you're prepared to. And I think, again, you're right, Steve.
There we go. A hearty recommendation from us for this.
Have you been listening to a word I've said? Funnily enough, the last time you did something like that, I referenced the wonderful scene in Wayne's World 2, where Wayne and Garth go to a radio station, and again, weirdly, funnily enough, they are interviewed by the DJ, played by Harry Shearer.
Aww.
And he famously is so busy juggling his carts. And you know what I mean when I say juggling his carts, Steve. And pressing all the buttons in the equipment, that he doesn't listen to a word they're saying. It just goes anodyne asking questions. So, yeah, basically, you're not listening to me, are you? You're like Harry Shearer in Wayne's World 2. You're the radio host who's not listening.
Who, me?
What? Yes, you.
Oh, right.
Timing.
Yeah, sorry. I'm with
Timing.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you, son. You're all right. You're all right. Do you know what? It's getting back to
It's been a long day, Steve, to be honest.
I would recommend this. I would recommend this. And you know what? Because you can't listen to this thing once, and it's not a disposable piece of art, this. You have to let it percolate and maybe listen to it at a certain time of day, maybe in an evening, maybe with a little drink or something. Or I probably wouldn't listen to it on a car journey on the M6 overnight because it will probably just mess with your head too much. But I think this is something that as you listen to it more, you will have that experience that you do actually watching one of those films, watching Spinal Tap, Best in Show, and all the other ones we've mentioned. It will really grow on you. I guarantee you, Matt, in 2 years' time, you'll be quoting from this, I reckon.
You know what? As much as I don't feel it now, and I feel like I've had a really long day, I think I might have to agree with you. And I'm just thinking about it, and I was thinking as I was listening to the music, I'm not getting, because there's 30-second clips of the songs in between all the speech, I'm not getting the opportunity to learn these songs or know them or to get to know them. And it's kind of... But it's also not a 10-hour audiobook, so it's kind of halfway between an album and an audiobook, isn't it?
You've had a real quick hit of surreal, haven't you? It's been a real sort of, under 2 out there.
Surreal was a really big, a word that I've been thinking all day and I haven't used so far, but you've hit the nail on the head. Surreal is, in its true sense, in that it means there's reality and then there's layers above it and it's all very confusing and you're not sure what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. When we finish this, right, I'm going to let you do your professional bit. But there is a chapter of an audiobook that I listen to in the same way that I listen to a song. And it's from, I think, The Sandman 2. And it is just a beautiful... Can I stick that at the end? Do you think your friend Dirk Maggs would mind?
I'll do that. Oh, well, it gives us a chance to get to chat to Dirk again, Always a friend. Yeah, always a friend of the podcast.
Well, he likes you.
Well, I know. I felt I was a sycophant on that thing. I wasn't happy. Wasn't happy with my performance at all. I was just happy he was there. You know what I mean? But
let's forget obscure references to 1970s British comedies that maybe 1 million people is a potential audience, and refer to our own work from 4 years ago when really nobody was listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's obscure.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, completely. There'll be a test after. Shall I do the official bit then?
Yeah, make this end.
There you go. That was a review of the true story of the Coward Brothers by Elvis Costello, featuring his longtime collaborator T-Bone Burnett, Rhea Seehorn, Edward Hibbert, Stephen Root, and Kathreen Khavari. Actually, oddly enough, Harry Shearer not listed in the credits in the cast here. Comes in an hour and 43 minutes. It was released on 21st of November, and if you are an Audible subscriber anyway, you get your credit dropped in every month. Then it's all part of the package, so you don't have to spend an extra credit on this. It's there, so go and do it. And actually, while we're there, in fairness to Audible, the amount of content you get actually as just a regular monthly subscriber is pretty good. Anyway, please sponsor.
Are you trying to claw our way back into their good books?
Please put us back in your good books, your good audiobooks.
You are being the good cop to my bad cop, the George to my Zippy again.
Yeah, I think I've got in too deep. Speaking of which. Next week's book, we literally are going in too deep because we are returning to a book series that we have previously reviewed. And when I say Andrew Child and, of course, Lee Child, predominantly, not necessarily in that order. Lee Child has got the bigger font size still on the books. Mm-hmm. It's the latest Jack Reacher, book 29 now in the series, Matt, and you're a fan.
Yeah, and this is on my insistence. We've done a lot of comedy recently, which is your bag. We've also done a lot of biographies. I would actually go. I think we got away with our episodes on David Jason and Janie Godley, which are available at audiobookclub.net for you to have a listen to. And then this week was some sort of biography comedy. I don't know what it was. So what I need to do is go back to basically an airport thriller. Let's go back down to my level. Let's read a man book. Hopefully there will be some gruffness and some graphic violence, and I can just relax. It'll be like a comfy pair of slippers for me. So I need a relaxing week, Steve.
Yeah, a comfy pair of slipper man book shoes. Yes, it sounds very. This is what listening to the Coward Brothers does to you. In Too Deep is next week's book. So if you are a fan of the Jack Reacher range, or even if you're not, give it a try, and we'll sort of chat with you again about it next week. But it's book 29, In Too Deep, by Lee Child and Andrew Child, narrated as ever by long-time Jack Reacher narrator Jeff Harding. 8 hours and 53 minutes, and it's out right now from Penguin Audio. So that is next week's episode. Matt, I'm going to do the furniture for people getting in touch with us now, because we've got a new platform out. We are on Blue Sky. You'll find us at Audiobook Show. Same address for Instagram as well. We always put out what we're going to be. We always put out what we're going to be doing next week. And
make it end. Please,
I can't make it end. So if you want to let us know what you're reading, what we should be listening to, what everyone should be listening to, Find us on Blue Sky, find us on Instagram, and also all of our episodes are available in full and for free because, frankly, well, the obvious line, audiobookclub.net is our web address. You'll find all the episodes there. Until the next time, and I'm sure you'll be quite glad to go into your next podcast in your list. We'll see you then. Thanks, Matt.
Timing!